Vermont should change the name from the Green State to CBD oil only. Unless you're a Vermont resident with a prescription for Trump derangement syndrome, Bernie Sanders couldn't even make Vermont great for potheads on vacation. Can I get a final Doodle Dead Year podcast episode? Holla for some holla! 2 seconds ago, wife says, "Oh, your last podcast. Isn't that nice?" I recall hearing that before. But it's official. This is it. It was a glorious run. 124 episodes. 40 plus hours of A plus headliner material. John Lennon wishes he was this productive during his stay-at-home dad years. Can I get a holla for a callback pitch in my super productive honor? Only possible because of the almighty above. Holla! So, this is a conversation I had in the car with my wife heading up to Vermont. I say, I should have brought my driver to Vermont. And my wife says, over hanging out with your family? And I said, draw a severed scrotum on my forehead next time I pass out on top of our children again. Can I get a holla for the trifecta raising the roof? You can only hope to contain him. He's going off on a high note, folks. You'd expect nothing less. Holla! This party is just getting started up. So, this is me at a toy shop in Vermont. I saw a Boggle in the display case. And I said to the owner of the toy shop, seeing Boggle here like triggers memories of my parents avoiding playing with me on a Saturday night. They kept Boggle in the liquor cabinet, filled with Smirnoff bottles, refilled with H2O. The shop owner laughed a long time. That liquor cabinet. The same liquor cabinet where I ended up finding my first short stories ever published. One called I Don't Drink German Rieslings. The other one called My Very Last Meal. They were published in this anthology called Fire and Knives. My parents, my dad specifically said, son, when we get these stories in the mail, we're going to frame them next to your bar mitzvah photos. Meanwhile, I go down there to show them to my children. They're nowhere to be found. I said, Mom, where are my Fire and Knife stories? She goes, in the bar. I said, but Mom, all your friends are Jewish and they don't drink. So, in other words, my stories that you're so proud of allegedly will get less touches than a Bible in a bathhouse colony in Provincetown. Can I get another holla? For I'm stroking my material off a long time. Can't get enough of it. Hate to leave you hanging. Holla! I am ignoring the squeaking of my children in the other room because they're having fun and enjoy each other, and tomorrow they start school, and that's a beautiful thing for them. It's not that I hate their company. I'm just ready to get into more workflow zones here, people, because what do we have that's next? What's more important than the Doodle Dead Year podcast? I'll tell you right now. First ever father-son family meal review show. Better than Bobby. Can I get another holla? Not on Adderall. Not crazy. Just super pumped up. Got the wool by the balls, man. Holla! Son likes a meal. I'm going to make some banana bread tonight. I'll give him a sample on film. Better than Boomy? Yeah. Hates it? Yuck. If he really hates it, yuck yucker. If he really loves it, it's a double fister. Can I get a holla? For my well thought out food review show and bitching forever, but finally got the perfect title and better than Boomy. Holla! Thank you very much. There he is. Chosen Curls was bound to woo! in the house. He can hear my voice from Timbuktu. Nappy, huh? So, this is me and my daughter. We're at a brunch spot in Vermont. And my daughter says, "That's a small serving of syrup, Dada." And I said, "In Bernie Sanders' country, increased redistribution of maple syrup for the have-nots is the law of the land." So this is me at the farmer's market. My son is acting like more hyperactive than usual. He's jumping around a lot and making my wife very nervous. And this is my response before buying a bunch of freshly plucked strawberries and fancy cheeses from Vermont. I said, "The CBD seltzer has the opposite impact on my son. Just like his daddy, he gets extra talky on it. Cashier laughs, 'Extra long time, can I get a holla?' For a completely shameless CBD seltzer joke in my kid's honor. And for your enduring pleasure, holla!" So I'm at a brewery in Vermont, Long Trail to be exact. Good beer. They've come a long way. And Chicago was playing. "Getting stronger every day. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I said, "Yeah, I took my daughter to see Chicago for my 40th birthday. I've never felt more excessively white, especially after Earth, Wind, and Fire, like set the stage by making the floor freaking vibrate." But now, like 3 kids later, listen to Chicago, it's not as intensely enjoyable because, after you have 3 kids, Chicago tends to sound excessively sappy. "How can I go on? How can I go on?" Find a new tighter puss to fall into. "Can I get a holla?" For a pro-Chicago joke, but because they still rock, but they did sound like a bunch of old white privilege weasers compared to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Holla! No. So I was watching Up in Smoke, and I wasn't on me. I wasn't on the weed, man. And I will say this about Up in Smoke. Up in Smoke is a movie that you don't need to be on the weed, man, in order to make me laugh a long time. It's so cool knowing Cheech and Chong made such a timeless stoner film franchise before Judd Apatow nerded up everything, imposing his annoying wife ad nauseum. That's for you, Howard. I'm piggybacking of your sentiment. I expressed it before, but it just worked well there. Not that Howard Stern is like a genius for pointing out that Judd Apatow's got an annoying wife. I mean, she's cute in doses, but he's just completely out to lunch at the fact that. So I'm not banging my meat bag, as I would say to her, anytime soon. Glad I got that off my chest. So this is Pete Davidson heckling college students at University of Central Florida. "No phones!" Yeah, like Dimitri Martin will steal your shit. "Lorne Michaels, let me apologize to a Navy SEAL and a pink hoodie, people. I'm in a Judd Apatow film now. You spoiled, privileged pieces of shit. I am Generation Z's rebound boy toy celeb king. You better recognize!" So we went to some outlet stores in Vermont. My wife, after she came back from Kate Spade with my daughter, she says, "Babe, I got great deals on these Kate Spade bags from our outlet store." And I said, "It's too bad shopping therapy at our own outlet stores wasn't enough to keep Kate hanging on. Can I get a holla for some black humor gem supreme holla?" And I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Kate Spade, totally guilty as charged for writing the most passive-aggressive suicide note of all time. I'm quoting exact suicide note verbatim. Dad will explain. Imagine Dad's response after seeing that suicide note. Dad will explain. Meanwhile, Dad's thinking, explain what? I was the one who was impossible to live with? What a bag of shit, Kate. Can I get another holla? For an A-plus gem that is no longer too soon. Holla! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Proof. Your son believes in you winning. This is my son, Archo USA. He says, Dada, I see handprints on your book. The hotel guys definitely took a peek at it. Can I get a holla? For my golden boy about to start kindergarten, bound for glory, because everything he touches turns to gold. Holla! My little boy's coming all grown up, and he's all grown up. So, this is here at home one morning. Baby's crying out, Mama, Mama. And I said, there's nothing Mama can't do that the Wonder Pens... Let's try that again. Baby, Mama, Mama. And I said, there's nothing Mama can't do that the Wonder Pets can't do better. Wonder Pets save the Rat Pack, baby. Vince Vaughn ain't got shit on me. Can I get another holla? For some more Vince Vaughn love. Name still outdated. Always be an American treasure. Swinger still a perfect film. Holla! Okay, quick question, Dave Chappelle. If Michael Jackson were alive today, how would the king of pop defend himself against his Neverland accusers exactly? All the Beatles royalty points in the world can't buy me love. Can I get another holla? For A+ Michael Jackson material, but I'm only getting started. Holla! AOC claims millennials are willing to puncture more taboos than previous generations, such as likening border detention facilities to accelerated death camps for starters. The showers in Auschwitz were used for more than lice removal, babe. AOC also claims... What else does she claim? What else does AOC claim that I wanted to mention? I'm getting sidetracked right now. Oh, yeah. She claims that millennials are more willing. She claims that millennial Mouseketeers are more willing to have conversations older generations don't. You know, like whether Henry David Thoreau was a lesser poet than Chuck D, despite both having supportive mamas who raised them around trees instead of fire escapes. So this is Sasha Obama's roommate during freshman orientation at Michigan University. Yeah, so why haven't you grown into your mom's shoulder pads yet? I don't see the resemblance, sorry. Did kale smoothies stunt your growth? I don't get it. I love that joke. And then this is Sasha Obama earlier during freshman orientation with her roommate. Yeah, I still get high with my dad. On it, my dad, he sounds like a fake news deep biracial Bob Marley. Can I get a holla? For Obama dumpage, it never gets old. Holla! It's my impersonation of Ziggy Marley being interviewed by a journalist from High Times Magazine on 4/20. Ziggy, your father had 13 kids. I thought the ganja drained your ballsack dry. And Ziggy Marley, Bob Marley's son, replies, fake news, man. Can I get a holla for nothing but gold dissemination, distribution, the Robin Hood of freaking gold giving over here. king of Robin Hood, gold distribution, giving comics in Cronin Falls. Holla! Now Antifa knows where I live and we're gonna die. Holla! At least I get to die on top, being so freaking funny. Holla! Sasha Obama. So this is my wife calling right after she just left for work. She says, "How are you guys doing?" And I said, "The kids are no longer crying for your attention, but the pizza you made is yummy. Can I go back to enjoy it again because you already feel my annoyance?" And I want to be very clear. Dave Chappelle is a black entertainer, defender, supremacist. Rihanna deserved it. Neverland kids wanted more than an autograph. R. Kelly is a target of character assassination for being the R&B Elvis with weaker bladder control. Yeah. But Dave Chappelle's a fierce defender of free speech. He thinks the F word for homos is funny. He's pissed off the opiate crisis will be made into a comedy directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans called Drop Dead Dirty White Boy. He's pissed off that the feds confiscated a gazillion more pounds of like fentanyl in April, which wasn't the spring cleaning Obama was hoping for. Can I get a holla for dumping on another black supremacist that the media will never touch with any sort of glovey menace? Holla! Dave Chappelle just might save America, Breitbart, because he doesn't make fun of Trump or unafraid to make tranny jokes, because he's rich, bitch. Netflix issues him blank checks like blunts in addition to honky haters presidential bitch of sketch approval. Or should I say sketchy sketch approval? Who the frick am I now? Michael Savage getting all wordy, editing my material as I speak. So this is a true definition of like jumping the shark. Talking about like going back to school to study seagulls. That's Michael Savage. In my letter to President Trump, I make fun of him. And I literally close making fun of Michael Savage. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. It's a big Trump line. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Dave Chappelle shows why we need political incorrectness because he made fun of Bourdain's alleged suicide in his new Netflix special instead of killing with Michelle Obama material like her new biodoc deal in her honor. What's talent got to do with it? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle shows why we need political incorrectness. Make better Louis jokes then. They took down his specials on HBO. Will the Rocky statue be taken down next because it promotes white supremacy? If Jussie Smollett was a straight rapper, love child of James Baldwin, I don't see Chappelle questioning his accusation of almost being hung by MAGA country at large. But the PC critics are the temperamental bitches for their meh reactions to his gay jokes. Got it. Black supremacist you. It's Marlon Brando inquiring about Michael Jackson accusers. Just because it happened on the Neverland Ranch doesn't mean it never happened, Michael. And please tell me your glove is sticky because you don't have a firm handle on Jerry Curl Activator. Amazon suggests I should buy How to Win Friends and Influence People. Fake an interest in other people's well-being as long as possible is easier said than done. Amazon AI knows my ego has no bounds. Isn't that right, Alexa? It's a rhetorical question. I'm not talking to you. Know your role.
I don't know that one.
Do blind men get the beer goggles, people? Does a seeing eye dog ever offer a second opinion? Pass on this one, Stevie. You can feel her face, but I can smell her snatch. Woof, woof. Can I get a holla for my old proven closer? It's now a tad tighter. Delivery better than ever. Holla! I don't know what's more infuriating. Whitney Cummings thinking she's such a deep thinker because she does equestrian sensitivity training, or Jason Alexander playing the dummy blob brain role of Trump is bad bickerer on Twitter. Flip a coin, people. I don't envy parents who banged out kids who sleep from 7 to 7, but I do question their kids' limited imagination, conversational might, and availability of interesting siblings to stay up with. Fucking Quakers. Can I get a holler? I mean, I'm sure they're nice Quakers, but I could think of a better tag topper. Holla! So, back to the parents who get their kids to sleep from 7 to 7. Parents who get their kids to sleep from 7 to 7 either A, have super hot wives to mount after lights out, B, have super boring kids they can't stand already, or C, value binging on what joy their wife or kids fail to deliver. I like Duplass Brothers Fair, but Paddleton on Netflix was killing me fastly. Ray Romano can play a bumbling everyman with heart with an extra crappy hairdo. Got it. Ricky Gervais is the funniest awards host of his day, but his stand-up specials on reacting to his social media critics are total snooze logs. 3 kids later, large doses of atheist blowhards with English accents fail to get off my mind, man. When a John Coltrane record gets stuck on the same jazz groove, it sounds like a saxophone masturbation on speed with the entire house to yourself. All Santana sanctioned spiritual embedded heft goes poof. Thomas Paine's Common Sense is a long-winded blog on how the Brits are evil usurpers of liberty and no friend to America, whose only interest was ensuring colonists remain the subservient underling bitches of a non-god chosen King Joffrey of his day. But back to Al Franken. Anyone who defends Al Franken is anyone who defends Al Franken. This is my summation. Act out of anyone who defends Al Franken. He was just pretending to grope her tits in the USO sketch. Their kiss was scripted. Pussy grabbing eluded Al because he's only 4'2". Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave Dave Chappelle's new comedy special 0.0 ratings because he makes more trans jokes and leaves the fake news Nazi label hurls at Trump to lesser so-called comedians. Steve Colbert must be feeling square smug than usual today. Antifa believes it's pushing America towards civil war. Fake news already has Antifa's just carrying out the dirty work, although I'm sure the Antifa War Memorial will look more stately than a black hoodie bonfire in the Rogue Brewery in Portlandia. Can I get a holla for a shishi bitch informed craft brewery reference in honor of Rogue? And unfortunately, they're in Antifa country, so they gotta bear the brunt of my awesome punchline. And I'm not saying they finance Antifa, but I don't really recall them condemning them either. Holla! So this is me at the Mobile a couple nights ago. I said, my wife can't call me a self-serving, degenerate narcissist because I remembered to bring home milk for our kids instead of beer for mostly myself. Patron Online laughs. Long time! Aerosmith this summer in Vegas makes me beloved them more than Guns N' Roses. Blowing out Axl voice or not. I hollered woohoos every other 2 seconds for them slaying with toys, Sweet Emotion, and Ragdoll to get things warmed up a bit. So glad I made Aerosmith top priority of the summer. Jay was the best. Love you for making that happen. Thank you very much. Trump's got dark energy, Santana, but Hillary Hammertime Kankles, aka Humalika Breath, is the best-selling voodoo doll in Haiti year after year. Especially after Chelsea used their Haitian Relief Fund money to fund her lavish wedding in Chappaqua, Manhattan, wherever the hell it was. At least she's not ugly on the outside anymore. Trump doesn't need acid to see who's full of shit, Carlos. And I love Santana. I had this new concept. Hey, I'm not going to get stoned ever again. Not ever, but if I feel the urge, I'll listen to Santana. Because Neil Young these days is sounding a tad petulant. And Cheech and Chong can be a tad repetitive. It might not be as entertaining, not on high-octane, double Vermont IPA slammed in rapid succession. Terminator 2 star Linda Hamilton has been celibate for 13 years. Just learned this yesterday. Celibate 13 years. James Cameron terminated their relationship just in time then. Looks like he won't be back for any vicious hand jobs under the sound mixer table while dicking around with more CGI again. So this is a conversation with a fictitious medicinal herb dealer, man. I normally charge 90 for dual data replies. I got 85. You're taking milk money from my children. Got no shame, obviously. Fictitious medicinal herb dealer man from Carmel Labs. Long time. So I was on the phone with an old work bud, and he said, I knew Adam Sandler's cousin in college, and I said, I almost hooked up with one of Adam Sandler's cousins at Ithaca College. Her looking like Sandler's sister failed to launch any sustained stiffage out of me. my old work bud laughed. Long time. Yeah, so, I was talking to like a fellow like dad here in the neighborhood. And I said, summer 2019 is gone. And he says, well, not yet. And I said, I can't toss my daughter around in the pool at the local Fieldhouse Pool Club anymore. Summer 2019 is dead to me. And Katie in the Cape was no sloppy second either. So I sent out my books yesterday to a bunch of big mockers, as they would say. That's like Yiddish for like big shot in the biz. So I sent it to Sandler, personalized letters, Vince Vaughn, and President Donald Trump, and to Eddie Murphy's manager. And so this is an imagined response from Vince Vaughn after getting my books in the mail for me. Sorry your life sucks, pal, but I can't help you. Don't have a panic attack. I'm just busting balls. Of course I could help if I really wanted to. Iran promises to honor the original nuke deal in return for $15 billion. John Kerry offered the Shah his wife's panties from their wedding night, knowing his affinity for 89-year-old virgins. Kerry adds, don't let the red trim fool you. In fact, all of her clothes come in red. It's a part of the package deal. Do I know how to sweeten a deal or what? So folks, it's been an amazing run. You've all been wonderful. This past year, I'll give you an example. So I was at this bookstore. I was getting rid of all my Bukowski books after reading that, in junior high school, that Bukowski used to carry around a highlighted copy of Mein Kampf. And I always knew he was very pro-German and very happy about his German heritage, and would attack the Jewish editors that wouldn't read his stuff and call him crude and everything. So yeah, I get some of the anxiety, but then I heard this other quote about it was like a real tasteless like Holocaust like shower joke, and yeah. So anyway, my attitude was I've gotten everything out of Bukowski that I can at this stage of my life, so I'll give it to someone else. No big deal. I mean, I give him plenty of credit and props in my books. So, and there's this used bookstore, and it's in Peekskill. And I had this beautiful moment where, I said, listen, here's my book. According to the Bhagavad Gita, this was not a pure gift because I expected something in return. I wasn't banking anything in return. I just said, here is my book, Doodle Dad Does Jokes. All I ask for in return is a review, assuming it makes you laugh out loud long time. and he said, would you sign it? And I actually brought a Sharpie with me, making that anticipation a little bit. And my son got right next to me, and he watched like the entire like signing of my book like transpire in real time, and it was really beautiful. So thank you God for giving me that moment. It was really special, and the best is yet to come. I also just went to my local library. I told them that I'd like to be a showcase local author. Told her about the books, dropped them off, and I've always gotten lots of laughs out of her, and she's been very sweet. I'm an awful human being. I don't know her name, but I will, especially if she decides to showcase my books. So that was another beautiful moment that I had recently. So Lord, thank you for that as well. And I'm really thrilled about the opportunity to do this show with Samuel, Better Than Booby, and I'll be off the Adderall because you can't host a family meal review show on Adderall. The show's promise is no longer going to feel pregnant with such endless scrumptious possibility. It's going to be too speedy and that is hearty. Why am I like so obsessed with freaking wordplay right now? But I'm most excited about it so I can get closer to my son, and I do like the possibilities of hosting opportunities that it could leave open for myself. And I'm really excited to do a bunch of improv too. And I think it's going to be a great thing for the entire family. And you could say it's a tad outside my comfort zone, but not really. But I will be focusing on, promoting the infinite benefits of the pescatarian diet, which is like fish and veggies. And I do plan on having my daughter do 5 one-arm push-ups, and then 2 seconds later, yelling directly at the camera, not enough protein. So obviously a great title for a third book, Better Than Booby. Could be a summation of, the shows, the reviews. Although I am very excited about Hebrew or Hindu. I found this remote writing job for this company called the Align Center. They're a co-working space. It's a remote writing job position. I'd be responsible for promoting the space. And they teach yoga and meditations. And the could be the perfect place where I can make like my contacts for making contacts, meaning people that are living, breathing, yogis. Would be nice if I could actually get a memorized mantra burned in my brain, no matter how much weed I smoke the rest of my life. So like that would be nice. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm really excited about that potential development. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in ages, but I also met this other woman who's a professional horse trainer, and she's worked with like Russell Crowe and all these, she knows Billy Bob Thornton, and she's got this horse, is Palomino. I met her at the Dutchess County Fair, and I've told her that I've always wanted to write like a really heartwarming, yet super funny story about a horse. And she said, well, what about mine? And, she's got people in the biz that will look at material. So I've been developing some stuff. I don't want to blow my load. I am very fond of the title, All the Sensitive Horses, and my storyline about my daughter placing a new friend ad for myself in Town and Country and having Bollywood royalty respond to the ad. who's a horse that changes his name so he could be a big shot overseas because previously the name was Hollywood Royalty, but changed to Bollywood Royalty because Hollywood Royalty didn't work out so well, and she's like the only case of like white privilege, not really getting her advance in her career at all whatsoever. So, like I said, give it some thought. It's really coming together. I got a natural flair for it. Thank you very much. So, we'll see how that goes. And, my wife was saying, well, this is your last podcast. How is that possible? I thought you were already done. And, the thing is that, the obsession to write like new material is like never, been so like strong than what it's been like over the past like 2 years. But, I'm ready to, stretch my muscles over here and try something new. I'm really excited to give back more and not have this just be about, my ego enlargement. I did a podcast about bombing at my brother's wedding, and I was just trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be malicious, and it's really annoying that I felt that resistance. But I remember listening to, this is related, that there's a guy's in jail now, Craig Carden, and for like a Ponzi scheme, and one time he had this baseball pitcher that was on, and he this is his line about Craig Carden. He goes, I know your type. You make fun of other people, you bring other people down to bring yourself up. And I wonder if that's how what the absolute truth of that statement is when applied to like most comedians, right? And I think there's a lot of truth to that statement. So I like the idea, and that's why I'm doing this, and why I'm saying goodbye to my beautiful podcast. Don't get me wrong. What's beautiful of comedy is you're able to get in the last word, and it is a way to fight back. But there are different ways to showcase your sweetness, your mojo, and your badassery without, dumping on every hysterical resistor freak that's ever opened up their dumb mouth. So I've done that, been there, and I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to put myself in a position where I'm not intentionally welcoming any extreme resistance because I want I want my material, I want my shows to be as popular and as big as humanly possible. Obviously, show's not always going to be for everybody, but I don't want to limit my reach either. So, Donald Trump, I had a great time defending you. It was my honor, my patriotic duty. You're welcome, but I'll leave it to your other supporters because you got plenty of passionate ones, and rightfully so. I wouldn't mind the response back. I did write that book, Do It All Dad Does Jokes, in your honor. I mean, it wasn't entirely for you, but it's got A+ material. And if you ever do plan on doing the White House Correspondents' Dinner ever again, you obviously know I've got the material to deliver forevermore. But better than Booby. That's my future. And it'd be a pretty awesome story if this could actually like lead to an actual show, and I could be the edgier, scruffier Mr. Rogers. I mean, if I could have a show where I'm just entertaining dads, and moms that I could tolerate that aren't annoying, that aren't judgmental slizznuts, and their children, I'm a happy man. So I want to thank my friends who've been really great during this podcast journey. Paul Stonick, Jason Lesner, David Uger. You've all been great, and I've had we got my Twitter peeps. You know who you are. People on WordPress, and you've all been wonderful. You've been a surrogate family. You've been a community. I don't care that We don't have direct interactions. I don't care that you haven't necessarily sent me personalized notes. I know that all of you at some point in time have listened to my material, you've read it, and you've given me dollops of encouragement and support and praise along the way. And that means a lot. I mean, it's great to earn the love and respect from your children, but when you aspire to be an entertainer, you want to connect with as many people as possible. That's why you always have that comic upset at that one person that's like not laughing at their material. So this has been a great journey. I'm just excited to get out of my cocoon and tackle a new venture, because if I'm not getting on fucking New and Notable 2 years into a podcast, 120 podcasts later, I don't think it's going to happen, folks. But I don't want to make excuses. Don't want to play the victim. Very proud of this material. Eventually, A Doodle Dad Does Jokes will be put on vinyl and will be recorded at Electric Ladyland Studios. To be continued. Not my focal point right now. But I love Do It All Dad Nation. Stay tuned for on the Do It All Dad Ear YouTube channel. Better Than Booby. Controlling Our Kids with Comedy. Can Make Our Kids Great Again. My 3 fuss-free kids, for the most part, are living proof of it. My children have brought out the best in me, and they are my biggest supporters, and they are truly the 3 best friends I never had. And I don't say that with any sadness or with any like maudlin moroseness attached to it. God gives kids to only the lonely, and this funny giant is lonely no more. Good night to all. Do It All Dad lives. Do better than Booby. Talk to you guys soon.